downtime discussion. We're going to talk about chemical peels. So I know I mentioned chemical peels last time as an anti-aging solution, but today I'm going to talk about the different types of chemical peels and what they can be used for. So there's, different levels of chemical peels. Let me start by saying what a chemical peel is. A chemical peel is a chemical solution you apply to the surface of the skin, and it raises the acidity of the skin in order to help get rid of dead skin cells, like the first few layers of skin you have. Some of them may be dead or old or just not in good condition, so you can get rid of those and you'll get nice shiny new skin underneath. They go from, there's a light peels all the way down to medium depth peels, and then deep peels, which you'd have to go to a doctor for. So light peeling, it can last anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, like 1 or 2 months. And you definitely have to get more than one in order to see the effects. And then there's medium depth peels that last from 2 to 6 months. You may need less rounds of it, but you may need more than one in order to get the desired results, depending on like where you are, whether it's hyperpigmentation or wrinkles or anything like that. You'll end up talking to your esthetician and seeing where you guys need to be as far as your treatment course. And then the deep peels, those are for doctors only, estheticians. In some states, you're not even allowed to do medium depth peels, but it depends on where you are. Your state law is different, varies by wherever you live. I'm trained in the light to medium depth peel because I'm a licensed esthetician. So for hyperpigmentation, you always want to be pre-treated on a regimen. And the reason why is a chemical peel is a controlled removal of cells from the skin. And anytime you have a break in skin, your cells rush to the site to help heal it up. And in those cells, there's melanocytes. They produce melanin. That's why you get dark marks and scars anytime you cut yourself or hurt yourself or injure the skin. So what you want to do is slow down those melanocytes using products that contribute to tyrosinase inhibition, which is one of the proteins that help produce melanin. Ingredients that are tyrosinase inhibitors are, I had to write it down because I don't know why I'm blinking today. Kojic acid, you'll find that in a lot of masks. It's kind of like a powdery substance. That helps with skin lightening. There's ferulic acid. There's licorice extract. There's alpha-arbutin, or it can be found in bearberry. There's retinoids, which help with acne and any prevention of scarring. Vitamin C as well. It helps to brighten up the skin. And then there's also hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is something you most likely have to get a prescription for, especially in America. You want to be careful with it for long-term use. You do have to cycle off of it in order for you not to have an adverse effect. So just be careful with those items, but those are a few ingredients that you can find in skincare that help bind to the tyrosinase to help slow down melanin production. So those are a few items that you may see on the market, or maybe your esthetician has given you something to help with your pre-treatment. The pre-treatment is very important because if you don't pre-treat and you go ahead and put that chemical peel on, you're breaking the skin, and the melanin is going to rush back to the site to help repair the skin, and you're going to be working against yourself. Basically, you're not going to see the results you need long term, and you also can end up making the dark marks darker. So it's very important to be on a regimen that's complementary to your treatment that you're going to have, your treatment schedule. For hyperpigmentation, the best way to go is low and slow. You don't want to go fast, and you don't want to use a very strong peel right off the bat, just because you'll damage the skin, and you'll do the opposite of what you intended. It's better to go get 10 light peels than it is to go get one deep peel. Let's say it like that. So, you know, you just want to be careful with your skin, especially when you have brown skin, when you hyperpigment easily. It's very delicate. Some people, they'll get hyperpigmentation just from, you know, anything. You know, they get a little bump and it doesn't bust and it goes away, and now you got a dark mark. So some people's skin is really super duper sensitive. So I like to start out with the gentle, my most gentle peel, which is the largest molecular structure, which is the lactic acid. It sits on the skin. It's a time-based peel, so I can go for as little time or as much time as I need in order to get the results that I need. It also helps with the moisture levels in the skin to start with the lactic acid. The more moisture you have, the healthier your skin will be, the more resilient it will be, the better it will respond to treatment. So there's that. And then depending on whether or not, depending on your skin type or whether or not you fall under the criteria to be able to get a stronger peel, we'll probably move our way up to a AHA, BHA. It helps with, you know, if you have an oilier skin, we can do that, or we can just move you on up to something like a Mandelic peel. The one from Circadia that I carry actually works on darker skin tones. So certain peel types are not appropriate for darker skin. Just because it's too strong, it will cause, you know, hyperpigmentation, will cause issues. But I love this line because they actually formulate it for darker skin. The mandelic acid also helps with dark marks itself. So you know, you just want to work your way up, maybe do 3 lactics and then 3 mandelics, and then put a little bit of vitamin A in that, you know, speed it up, give you a little peeling. So with the lighter peels, you'll experience less sheet peeling, and depending on like your occlusion level, depending on the moisture level of your skin, how dry your skin is, some people get a little bit of flaking or like crumbling of the skin. It's still a peel. It doesn't mean that you didn't get the results just because your skin didn't come off in one sheet. Sometimes you just want to break down the keratinized deposits on your skin slowly. Peels for anti-aging. So peels for anti-aging, you can definitely always start with a lactic acid peel, just because it helps with the moisture levels. And depending on your Fitzpatrick and your condition of your skin, you can move on up to something like a Jessner's peel, which is a combination of 3 different types of peels, 3 different types of chemicals, and you do that in layers, and you can go anywhere from 1 to 10 layers. These are incremental layers, so every time you go in, you can increase the amount of layers that you have. That's more of a it can cause peeling depending on how deep you go, but it's very important to take care of your skin with your post-care as well as your regular home care. So anytime with any chemical peels, you want to be very diligent about your skincare, because you're basically taking care of a live skin. You know, usually the surface of the skin, it has a layer that's dead. That's why you can wax and you see a little bit of skin come off, and it doesn't hurt or anything, because it was going to come off anyway. But with chemical peeling, you want to be very careful. You cannot wax on chemical peeling. You'll have to opt for a thread, or any other kind of, if you're on Accutane or anything like that, you cannot get a chemical peel. Your skin will basically burn off. So you just want to be careful and ask your doctor if you're using anything, can you get a chemical peel, or talk to your esthetician. He or she should be asking you about these things. It should be on your chemical peel form, and you know, you should be able to fill out your paperwork and know what you're getting into. So just be careful if someone's gonna, and matter of fact, chemical peels on the first visit is not a good idea. You need some home care and you need pre-treatment. If you can walk into a place and get a chemical peel, just be careful. I wouldn't trust it, just because it's, you know, it's a little bit more serious than just a facial. You don't want to have someone open up your skin without having knowledge of what you're using and what you're doing with your skin. So just be careful with that. A lot of people just want to go straight in, but you cannot. I do not allow my clients to get chemical peels on their first visits. It's a no-no for me. I do an express facial. It's a little bit cheaper. It's my cheapest facial. It's basically, I cleanse, I do a double cleanse. I look under the magnifying glass. I actually have a mobile like magnifier glasses, so I look under the magnifier and check the skin for imperfections, any kind of like active acne lesions or anything like that. You should not be peeling on that. You want to get the inflammation down before you do any type of chemical peeling. So you check the skin, and then after that, depending on their skin and how it feels, I might do an enzyme, or I might just do a nice cooling mask or moisturization. If they need a few extractions, I can get a few of those out. It just depends on how the facial goes. If they don't have much to extract, I'm not going to extract them. There's no need in, pinching up the skin or squeezing anything just to see if you get something out. If there's nothing that's ready to come out, I'm not going to mess with it because we want to treat it. You want to treat it nicely. That way you don't get hyperpigmentation. Exactly what we're talking about. Basically, just be careful out there when you're searching for a chemical peel. So back to anti-aging. You can go all the way up to adjusters. There's deeper peels. There's micro peels. I think I might start carrying a peel that actually peels, but it's really, it costs money, but it really does work, and it really looks nice. And it's the peel you can get before you have to go to the doctor and spend a couple of $1,000. And then there's phenol peels. Those are super duper deep peels. I didn't mention all the peels in the world. You can look up some if you want to. There's retinol peels. There's all types of peels. There's one common peel that I didn't touch on, which is glycolic peels. You can do those, just be careful. I'm not a biggest fan of glycolic peels because they have a really small molecular structure, and I feel like they can end up going too deep too fast. It's way less control you get over a glycolic peel. It's great for anti-aging, but I'd stay away from it for hyperpigmentation, because if you do end up using something that's too strong, you can burn the layers of skin underneath your skin, and you'll have that to deal with. That dark mark will keep popping back up. It'll go away and then it'll pop back up, and you just don't know why, and it's because you have damage underneath. I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I stick with my line, stay in my lane. So that's all I'm going to touch on as far as chemical peeling, and I'll see you next time.